Cultural mastery and fluency. This opening slide introduces the focus of the course, bridging language, tradition, and identity. It frames the study of Efik-Ibibio as more than vocabulary and grammar. True fluency here means understanding Ido Yokpono, meaning tradition and respect, and carrying that awareness into speech. The phrase Mok Mboho Idom MFO, meaning please prepare yourself, signals that this module deals with worldview, values, and cultural behavior as much as language. The goal is to link sound, meaning, and cultural context into one complete communicative skill. Cultural module contents. This slide outlines the scope of the module. It lists 7 key areas: introduction, Efik-Ibibio culture and traditions, literature, folktales, and oral traditions, dialect and regional variations, proverbs, idioms, and expressions, fluency development strategies, and conclusion. The sequence moves from cultural foundations to the spoken and written arts, then to variation in usage, and finally to practical mastery. Each section builds toward the idea that language cannot be separated from Ido, meaning tradition, and Okpono, meaning respect. The contents show that fluency requires cultural knowledge, social awareness, and command of oral forms like Nki, meaning folktales, alongside everyday speech. Module Introduction, language as the vessel of culture. This slide establishes the core principle of the module: speaking without cultural understanding is a tool without a soul. True fluency means knowing how, when, and why something is said. The Efik-Ibibio people are recognized for strong social hierarchies, vibrant aesthetics, and deep oral histories. The key concept Ido Yokpono, meaning tradition and respect, underpins all communication. The phrase Yuzum Edi Efik-Ibibio, meaning language is the primary vessel through which culture is transmitted, captures the idea that words carry history, values, and social roles. Speaking well therefore requires cultural literacy, not just linguistic accuracy. In social and political organization, the Ek society and systems of authority. This slide explains how Efik-Ibibio society organizes leadership and social order. The Ek, or leopard society, function as government, handling laws, disputes, and judiciary matters. Within Ek, members use Nsibidi, a symbolic secret language of signs and gestures. Leadership titles differ by group. The Efik have the Abom of Calabar, while the Ibibio recognize the Oku Ibom. The age grade system structures respect, requiring younger people to use soft tones with elders. A key greeting rule is to acknowledge a person's Ufok, meaning house, and lineage before speaking. The phrase Mono It Ufok MFO, meaning I greet the father of your house, shows how language directly reflects social hierarchy and Okpono, meaning respect. Slide 5 next. Social and political. The Mbopo, fattening room, preparing for womanhood. This slide describes Mbopo, the traditional seclusion period that prepares a bride for marriage. During this time, the bride is given rich foods to symbolize health and wealth, learns the Ikombi dance, and receives mentoring from elder women known as Iban Aisong. The process ends with a public graduation festival featuring drumming and the wearing of brass leg rings called Oban Kanika. The cultural message is clear. Beauty, discipline, and domestic virtue are communal values, not just personal ones. The phrase Mopo Edi Ido Okpi Maiban, meaning the fattening room is the tradition of training women, reflects how language and practice teach social roles. Speaking about Mopo requires terms that show respect for the institution and the elders who maintain it. Religion, ancestors, and libation, the spiritual foundation. This slide outlines the spiritual framework that shapes Efik-Ibibio expression. The supreme creator is Abesa Ibom, meaning God of the sky or supreme God. Ancestors, called Madam Akwa Owo, meaning the great people, are believed to watch over families. Libation, the act of pouring drink on the ground, is a key practice of respect and acknowledgement. The phrase Mono Madame Iti Madame Ike9, meaning we greet our fathers and mothers who have gone, is said during libation to invite ancestral presence. The takeaway is that many modern greetings and gestures still carry ancestral meaning. Understanding this helps a speaker use words like Abesai Odiem Fai, meaning God bless you, with the right cultural weight, not just as a casual phrase. Religion, aesthetics, cuisine and hospitality, the foodies of Nigeria. This slide highlights how food functions as a cultural marker in Efik-Ibibio life. Knowing traditional soups and dishes is seen as a sign of cultural integration and belonging. Cuisine here is not just nourishment, it carries identity, hospitality, and social status. A guest is honored through specific meals, and the ability to name and describe dishes shows respect for the household. The phrase Nim Yudia Ufok MFO, meaning I appreciate your household's food, is a common way to acknowledge hospitality. Terms like affair, meaning soup, and edisi, meaning native dish, appear often in daily conversation. Fluency means using food vocabulary correctly because meals are tied to okpono, meaning respect, and ido, meaning tradition. To call someone a foodie in this context is to recognize their deep cultural participation. Rites of passage, marriage, ndu, a communal contract. This slide explains that ndu, meaning marriage, is not a private agreement between two people but a union between families and lineages. The process begins with mono enyen, meaning knocking, when the groom's family formally initiates the marriage request. The bride then enters Ufokempo, a period of learning womanhood traditions under elder women. Later comes mop, the public questioning of the bride where she affirms her consent before the community. The phrase no edi engpo ufok ibie, meaning marriage is the affair of two houses, captures the communal nature of the rite. Speaking about marriage requires vocabulary that shows deference to both families. Terms like itufok, meaning head of the house, and ike ufok, meaning mother of the house, are used to acknowledge authority. Fluency here means recognizing that every statement about nu carries social and legal weight. Right? Folktales and oral traditions, NKE, the Moonlight Classroom. This slide covers NKE, meaning folktales, as the traditional system for passing on values, history, and social roles. NKE happens at night, often under the moon, where children and adults gather around elders. The central character in many stories is Ikot, the tortoise, known for cunning that usually backfires. His tales teach that Ayai, meaning wisdom, outlasts Yukim, meaning strength, and that Itia Ido, meaning honesty, is safer than deceit. Other oral forms support NKE. Awa, meaning incantations or praise chants, are used to honor ancestors during ceremonies. Work songs set the pace for communal labor and teach cooperation. Mbopo songs praise the bride and reinforce feminine ideals. Nsibidi, the symbolic writing system, appears on calabashes, cloth, and walls to record status and warnings. Key examples. Story opening, NKO, meaning there was once a story, signals everyone to listen. Story closing, NKMMIMAOQ, Mfonku Idomefo, meaning my story ends here, goodness in your body transfers the lesson to the listener. Common Ikat tale, Ikat Yebot, meaning tortoise and the goat, where Ikat's greed leaves him trapped, teach him fun like men, Ben I funk, meaning what is good for the pot is not always good for the ladle, actions must fit context. The core phrase is NKE Edi Ufoknud Ititop, meaning folktales are the classroom of the elders. A fluent speaker knows when to cite a tale, how to open and close it, and which Itia NKE, meaning proverbs, belong to it. Using NKE correctly shows you understand Ido, meaning tradition, and can carry moral authority without direct argument. Dialect and regional variations, one root, many leaves. This slide explains that Efik-Ibibio exists as one language family with multiple dialects, similar to the difference between British and American English. Pronunciation, vocabulary, and tone can shift between communities while the root structure remains shared. Code switching is common in urban centers like Uyo and Calabar, where speakers move between dialect forms depending on context and audience. The phrase "Yuzum Kiet, Mpo Inuakaibie," meaning one language, two mouths, is used to describe these variations without implying division. A fluent speaker recognizes words like edem, meaning back or behind, that may carry slight tonal or usage differences across regions. Awareness of this shift shows okpono, meaning respect, because it signals that you can hear and honor local identity. Mastery means adjusting speech to fit the listener's dialect while keeping the core meaning intact. Proverbs, idioms, and expressions, ETINKE, the salt of conversation. This slide shows how ETINKE, meaning proverbs, function as the seasoning that gives Efik-Ibibio speech depth and authority. Proverbs are used to advise, correct, or praise without direct confrontation, relying on shared cultural knowledge. A common example is Anwa o Anam o Adia Inin, meaning a person's hands make them have, which teaches that diligence creates wealth. Another is Eko Kodeho Ibok, Ikpo Iko Ikpok, meaning when the leopard calls a meeting, one does not make noise, stressing respect for authority and proper timing. Idioms like Atem Idom, meaning to cool one's body, are used to tell someone to calm down without sounding harsh. Iti Nud, meaning book words or standard speech, is contrasted with Yuzum Utum, meaning work speech or colloquial forms. A fluent speaker weaves these expressions in naturally, using them to show ayai, meaning wisdom, and okpono, meaning respect. Knowing when to drop a proverb can end debate or signal agreement without further argument. Social etiquette, Ido Okpono, the grammar of respect. This slide explains that Ido Okpono, meaning the tradition of respect, governs daily interaction in Efik-Ibibio life. Words alone are not enough, how you deliver them determines whether you are seen as fluent. Greetings come first and are never skipped. You greet the Ufok, meaning household, before the person. Mono Ufok MFO, meaning I greet your house, shows you recognize lineage, not just the individual. Elders are addressed with it, meaning father, or aka, meaning mother, plus their house name. Younger people kneel or lower their body slightly when greeting to show deference. Key examples. Entering a home, Duk Idom, meaning permit my body, is said at the door to ask entry. You wait for Efo Esine, meaning you are welcome, before stepping in. Receiving something, use both hands to collect, and say Nim, meaning I appreciate, or Abesai Odian Fai, meaning God bless you. One hand signals dismissal. Disagreeing, avoid direct no. Use Itia Ido Adu Idiak, meaning truthful words are not bad, to preface correction, then soften with a proverb. Eating, never start before the eat you fork, meaning head of the house. After eating say Yudia Osono, meaning the food is well cooked, even if it is simple, because hospitality outweighs taste. The core phrase is Okpono Otre Idom, meaning respect stands before the body. A fluent speaker manages tone, posture, and sequence so that Ido, meaning tradition, is visible in every exchange. Social etiquette is the grammar that makes your Yuzum, meaning language, acceptable to the community. The body language of fluency, Idom Yuzum, speaking with the whole body. This slide explains that true fluency in Efik-Ibibio is not just words, but Idom Yuzum, meaning language expressed through the body. Posture, gesture, and timing carry as much weight as vocabulary. When greeting elders, you lower your body slightly and keep your voice soft to show okpono, meaning respect. Eye contact is measured, direct for peers, lowered for itufok, meaning head of the house. Hands are used intentionally during storytelling. Open palms signal honesty, while pointing with a finger is avoided because it reads as accusation. During Ikombi dance or Mbopo celebrations, movement teaches rhythm of speech, where pauses and steps match proverb delivery. Even silence is body language. The phrase Idom Atrin, meaning the body stands still, is used when someone listens with full attention. A fluent speaker knows when to nod, when to clap softly after iti, meaning a proverb, and when to sit on the floor to show deference. Fluency means your idiom, meaning body, and usum, meaning language, align so the community hears respect before you finish a sentence. The body. Conclusion, Ido usum yuum, a language and life as one. This module shows that fluency in Efik-Ibibio is not measured by word count but by how well Ido, meaning tradition, lives in your speech. Usum, meaning language, is inseparable from yuum, meaning life. You have seen that greetings open relationships, marriage rites bind families, folktales teach values, proverbs settle disputes, and body language signals okpono, meaning respect, before words are even understood. The journey from basic to cultural fluency requires moving past translation into participation. Knowing when to say nko, meaning there was once a story, when to lower your body for an elder, and when to offer iti, meaning a proverb, instead of a direct opinion, marks the shift. Each phrase carries social weight because it ties you to Ufok, meaning house, and to the ancestors who shaped Ido. The final lesson is this, Usum edi yuum, meaning language is life. To speak Efik-Ibibio fluently is to live it, in posture, timing, silence, and story. Fluency ends where community begins. Your task now is to carry Ido Usum, meaning the tradition of language, into daily use, so your words build relationships, not just sentences.